Hey, first thing first. Good evening, everybody. Good evening. This is once again the Black Knight. The Black Knight, the original Knight Rider himself. This is Mr. O once again. And I'm usually don't come on this Wednesday, but Monday and Tuesday, first thing first, let me go ahead and apologize to my subscribers and to my fans that I had to take a little break for 72 hours for a while. So I apologize for that. I couldn't do the Monday O report nor Tuesday night tech, but I will make that up to you in the following days to come. But I'm gonna just get on to something more important, and I think y'all gonna like this. Because I want to talk to y'all about what's the hottest thing everybody's talking about that's going across on social media. If you got Netflix, which I know everybody else do, it's about Luke Cage, as you can see right there in my podcast right there. Luke Cage is what's happening right now. And I'm going to tell you something. If you're not a fan of Marvel Comics and all that, Marvel Studios, these are the same people that also made, responsible for Iron Man, Spider-Man, The Incredible Hulk, Mighty Thor, Captain America, The Avengers, and so on and so forth. Now, they've been doing a little thing on there with Netflix. Now, when they did the Daredevil series, I watched both seasons 1 and 2. To me, it was down to the T, no doubt about that. And they came across with Jessica Jones, which I had watched. I'm going to tell you something right now. With Jessica Jones, I wasn't feeling that at all. But the only reason I watched it was simply because of Luke Cage. Because with Jessica Jones, let's just keep it 100 right here. Here you got a white chick here that's basically alcoholic, drug addict, and she got these type of superhuman type powers or whatever, and she going through this thing throughout the whole series of being under the mind control of some guy called Kilgore, which I believe in the Marvel Comics was known as the Purple Man. And I remember the Purple Man from Avengers Earth Mightiest Heroes, if you haven't watched the Disney cartoon. And her thing like that with Luke Cage is like because keep in mind, because the people who wrote Jessica Jones, it happened to be a white woman to do it. And see, like when it come down to relevant with Luke Cage, it was just like he was just there as a quote unquote as a stud. That's all that he was there for, point blank. And see, let's keep in mind, Luke Cage at that time, he owned a bar, okay? But he lived in this little dingy apartment. So on and so forth. So therefore, it was just there just only for the sex. And Luke Cage's preference was black women. Because I thought he was messing with this guy's wife, blah, 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 blah. But it just seems like it was just too much of the stereotypical type that I wasn't really feeling Jessica Jones at all. But I'm going to move on from that and just go right to the show itself of Luke Cage, which premiered September 30th. That was just a few days ago. And I've gotten down to episode 6. And I'm going to tell you right now, like, the one thing I do notice that I find out, because I always like to look at the credits at the end of shows like this, that, that most of the writers and stuff happen to be black writers, and it's a step in the right direction and all that. Well, Cage, starts off as having 2 jobs, being a dishwasher at a club called the Harlem Renaissance, because it takes place in Harlem. Which Harlem Renaissance was a club that was owned by this gangster slash businessman that's known as Cornell Stokes, but he was known in the comic books as Cottonmouth. You know, Cottonmouth named after the rattlesnake. Now, I'm thinking like, okay, this must be a tip like this from the Serpent Society, because I know they battled them in the comic books as well as Captain America did, but again, I digress. Because it was all nicely all black cast. And I'm gonna tell you something, the women that they chose in there, the sisters they chose in there, oh man, I give them a 9.5. I just ain't talking about like in looks, but they were articulate, they were intelligent, they weren't coming with none of this street ghetto type stuff, you know, I'm gonna check that fool and blah 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 and all this other stuff. None of that hood rat type mentality or nothing like that. So, you know, that was pretty good. That was pretty good, because, you know, a lot of the characters that I was familiar with, I know Alfre Woodard, she's in there. Faison Love, not Faison Love, I'm talking about guy named Faison something, but he plays Pop, who owned the barbershop, which is the other job that Luke did there, sweeping hair at the barbershop. And I noticed too, some of the characters too that came over from Daredevil, like Turk. He was over in the Daredevil series, and he's happened to be over there because that's in Harlem. Hell's Kitchen is not too far away. And you know, I seen some dialogue excerpts when they mentioned Fisk, you know, Wilson Fisk, you know, the Kingpin. That's, everybody know, that's Daredevil's primary enemy right there. No, not Spider-Man's primary enemy. Everybody think that the Kingpin is Spider-Man's primary enemy. No, it's not. For the record, Spider-Man's primary nemesis has and always will be the Green Goblin. Let's get that out the way right now. Okay? You're looking at a comic book fan here, both Marvel and DC. And when it comes down to these two, Spider-Man and Daredevil, and Luke Cage, aka Power Man from Power Man Iron Fist, thing like that. But one thing I do want to point out, that I do point out of the show, throughout the whole show so far, Luke Cage is a superhero, no doubt about that. We all know he's got superhuman strength. He's got that unbreakable skin. I mean, the man is basically bulletproof. This is like dealing with he's like Superman or the Hulk, and a lot of other people like that, all rolled into one. But the thing is how they keep on par with the issues that correlates with what's going on out here today, as far as being a black man, being in America, stuff like that, and the outfit he wear, which is the hoodie. I think that was pure genius for the Marvel writers. That was, I read that was, they had him wear the hoodie because it's a tribute to Trayvon Martin. So that was big up on that, because, you know, he pulls that hoodie over his head like that to conceal himself, to blend in with the general populace there in New York City, particularly there in Harlem. Now, other actors that's also on there as well, I recognize Theo Rossi. Now, if you're not a big fan of Sons of Anarchy like I am, that's who played Juice, one of the OGs from Sandcrow, Redwood Originals. You know, the motorcycle club, you know, that ran for 7 seasons and everything. And Theo Rossi, you know, number one, he's from Queens anyway, though, so he's a local New Yorker. So that was like pretty good. That he plays the role of Shades, who happens to be a ex-con that Cage ran into when it was locked up over at the Seagate or whatever like that. And Luke Cage himself being an ex-con, so they go way back. Because he came to be there like a consigliere or something like that, the Cottonmouth. But, you know, Rosario Dawson, she's also there. She come over from the Daredevil series too, so she's there. That's Claire. In case y'all know who Claire is, Claire was the one that helped Matt Murdock during the times he was doing the season 1 of Daredevil. So I like the interaction with the crossover from Daredevil over to Luke Cage. So that's real interesting. So no doubt we might be seeing in season 2. We may see the Man Without Fear coming through there in Harlem or whatever, crossing paths with Luke Cage. You know, well, who knows? Maybe Frank Castle, the Punisher, may show through there. You never know, because there's a lot of dialogue and a lot of mention in there and stuff like that. But like I said, like with the sisters, now the biggest thing that bothered me about this, when they took the social media and stuff, I see once again that the white trolls decide to go ahead and make their little stupid comments. The article which I came across saying that Luke Cage, the Luke Cage series is racist. It's not a diversity of people, the diversity of people in there and stuff like that. I mean, it's really stupid to begin with. And this is coming like from out of Complex, so written by Debbie Ensalada. So I'm gonna just read this to you, and I'm gonna come back with it. Let me just read it to you, because I don't really want to play it, but you know, this is real stupid, to be honest with you. Okay. Now, for those of you who didn't help break Netflix after Luke Cage dropped Friday, the show is set in New York City's Harlem, which is a historic black community. Therefore, having a cast of predominantly black and Latino people for the show isn't outlandish. I'm sorry. But apparently, it's racist, according to some Twitter users. One person actually noted the characters are mostly black and asked the tone-deaf question, where is the diversity? Now, here's a tweet from somebody named Electric Lovely Land, using one of them Sailor Moon avatars, saying, lack of white people in Luke Cage makes me uncomfortable. This show is racist. How is this on Netflix? And another tweet coming from Liberals United. Talk about racist, huh? And you know, it's somebody white, no doubt. So let me just say like this: is it me or the new Netflix? Luke Cage is a little racist. Notice it's mostly black. Where is the diversity? I'm just sitting here right now, people, and I'm just rubbing my temple counterclockwise. And my answer to that, where's the stupidity in asking stupid ass questions? But and this person who later said the tweet was sarcastic, from Mine's Chocolate, and he using the avatar Magneto, saying, I'm not racist, but why is Luke Cage so political? Why do they talk about being black all the time? Where are the white characters? Somebody please tell this fool that it's set in Harlem, okay? To answer their users' question, actual diversity is still an issue in media. Now, a recent study of the top 100 grossing films of 2015 found that almost 74% of characters with speaking roles were white. Now, out of those 100 films, there were only 14 that had a person of color as a star or co-star, like Jessica Jones. And because most people know there's a lack of diversity, Twitter users laid down the facts and pulled out receipts from anyone calling Luke Cage racist. This was from Erie John, and he said, white people who are like, I don't see race, are the same people who are like, why are there no white people in Luke Cage? This is racist. True enough. And another tweet from Ultra Cola, what the hell, said, if Luke Cage is a racist show because most of the cast is black, what does that make 90% of all the mostly white shows on TV, like Seinfeld or Andy Griffith Show? Shit, you ain't seen not one black person in Mayberry, or the Honeymooners for that matter. Let's keep going. This is another tweet from Steven. Anyone caught complaining that hashtag Luke Cage is a racist must have never seen the episode of Friends. I just said that, exactly. And other tweet from Problematic Prodigy. He said the same people getting upset about a lack of white people in Luke Cage are in for a surprise when Black Panther come out. Most definitely. That's coming out next year. You know, with Chaz Boseman, who's plays King T'Challa, who, by the way, he was like the star of the show for Captain America: Civil War, along with Tom Holland, who plays Spider-Man. And this is the last one from Mr. Continental, tweet from him. Hashtag Luke Cage would not feature white tears as a villain next season. So all you racist white people, sit down. And yeah, to tell you the truth, a lot of y'all racist trolls, preferably from Stormfront East or whatever, aka Yahoo, all y'all need to have several seats. And in case you need it, here's Luke Cage himself deflecting cries of racism. That's an image of via Netflix. I think that was from the first episode. Now, showrunner Chio Hadari Coca responded to the racism claims Tuesday, essentially tell everyone to chill. He said, we throw viewers into the deep end of the pool of black culture, but don't thrash. Relax. You'll float if you allow it. But that's the thing there, like this. It seems like, you know, with all these movies that come out from Hollywood and all that, the only time y'all had diversity when it prefers to black people is when they're either thugs or gangsters or either sex toys in reference to black women or black men as being a boy toy toward white women, like as in when Jessica Jones. That's why I was never feeling that. Here you got some white trash that's basically a drug addict as well as an alcoholic. She's supposed to be a private investigator with superhuman strength, being controlled by the Purple Man, aka Kilgrave, that's on the Netflix series. I could only watch maybe 5 or 6 episodes of it, and I'm like, and I just did it just because of Luke Cage, the follow up to that, where the Purple Man made her kill Luke Cage's wife, Reeve, at that time. Now, but back onto the show. Let me stay on topic here about with Luke Cage here. As Irvin Griffin, my good friend Irvin Griffin had pointed out, by the way, happy belated birthday, my brother. And happy belated birthday to Ishmael Bey too, my Moorish brother, Islam. The women that was in there were fine. Woo! God, look at here. They did a damn good job. The sisters in there were beautiful. Like I said, I've already said they was intelligent, they were articulate, they carried themselves with a certain amount of dignity. Hell, and on top of that, even the bad guys like Cottonmouth, Cornell Stokes carried himself with a little bit of dignity. That I did like. Oh, and by the way, speaking of that, not only like a mostly black and Latino show, not only Theo Rossi, but you also had Jacob Vargas in there. In case y'all don't know who Jacob Vargas is the dude that played Little Joker on Friday. Was it, I think, Friday after next Friday, with Ice Cube and Mike Epps. They played the little Mexican, I hate to say that, you know, they played the little Latino gangbangers that stayed in the upscale neighborhood, you know, Little Joker, Big Joker, and all them, yeah. And they had a problem with Cube dating, because their sister was feeling him and all that stuff like that, which brought a very important topic during that movie about black and brown relations. But let me stay on topic here with that. He's also in there. He plays Latino drug boss called Domingo. So, you know, and all these guys answer to a cat that y'all see later on in the series by the name of Diamondback. You know, in case Diamondback is also part of Marvel Universe too, and not Diamondback from the Serpent Society who happen to be some white, blonde-haired, blue-eyed female. No. It's a whole different type of Diamondback. So, but Jacob Vargas was also in Sons of Anarchy too. He played in season 6, I believe, season 6 and season 7. He played Montez. You know, who came over from Sam Crow Indian Hills to Sam Crow Redwood to the mother chapter. You know. So you got 2 characters from Sons of Anarchy, both being of Latino descent, right on there. Because after all, this is Harlem. I'm not talking about Harlem now that it's being gentrified, no less than my hometown here, Liberty City. But, you know, but this is Harlem as it's supposed to be. And Alfred Wood plays Councilwoman Miriam something. I forgot her last name. But she happens to be Cornell Stokes' cousin, so that's the connection between her and Cottonmouth. But she just as corrupt and dirty and stuff like that. But Luke Cage, you know, it deals with a lot of our social issues that basically goes on in the black community and stuff like that. And it basically broke down a lot of the perpetual stereotypes that the mainstream media be trying to put on us and stuff like that. You know, when it comes down to so-called black-on-black crime, which is not none, as y'all seen in my last podcast on White Thug Friday, I left a link there in that one. You should check that episode and look at it. And you can look at the 2015 FBI crime stats in the United States that sees when it comes down to rape, when it comes down to a lot of stuff. Because like Luke Cage to me, it's a breath of fresh air, and it's well worth watching. So, you know, it's well worth watching. I haven't seen a show like that, all with black writers, all black cast like that, since 1989 with Avery Brooks, A Man Called Hawk. You know, who I idolize a lot. You know. So it's a lot of similarities with that. Also, you know, you got some guest appearances too. I'm not gonna name who you're gonna see. So in later episodes, that's just only for me to know, you to find out. But I just laid down some of the active names who I'm familiar with, and so like I'm telling you, like Luke Cage, hey, everybody need to go ahead and watch it. If you ain't got Netflix by now, I suggest get it. You know what I'm saying? It's well worth watching. It's one of my favorite shows and all that. It's a lot of dialogue in there. I don't mind that. I mean, although somewhere along there, some of the dialogue would be like something stupid. I'm like, it'll be like that. But it is action in there, and I like dialogue. I like to see where it's going to, where it's gonna go. Same as one of the reasons I like watching The Blacklist. But yeah, but just check it out, and you know, you'll be able to go ahead and see it. But the thing is, you know, white people is just mostly up in arms about it, talking about it's too racist. Well, I'm pretty sure they probably gonna say the same thing come Friday at the movie theaters when Nate Parker debuts the Birth of a Nation, telling the story about Nat Turner and the 1831 rebellion he led for 2 days in Virginia, slave revolt he led in 2 days in Virginia. And I, for one, is interested to, I'm going to go see that movie myself as far as the support. Now, on top of that, let me just jump on that for a second, because with Nate Parker, I was looking at 60 Minutes the other day. You know, I saw it on TV. I don't have a TV, don't want one, don't need one. And Anderson Cooper had the interview with him. And then the following day, Robin Roberts did. Now, Robin Roberts really set me off the wrong way. You know, mindset of females like her really irks me to the nerve. Anderson Cooper, closet queer himself, both of them had one agenda. They both wanted Nate Parker to apologize, and Nate Parker basically stood his ground. Some people may say he's folding, but I didn't see that. I said, look, he stuck by what he said. I mean, it was 17 years ago that happened. He was found. He was found not guilty. He was acquitted by, mind you, by all white jury, and that was that. And then come to find out, the girl lied, said that she was raped, but she was come to find out that she was half drunk. Or wasted. Now anybody that, and see, look what the university was. It was at Penn State. Now any of them doggone parties like that, you know, these gals get out here and they get loose to themselves. But what bothered me about this whole thing, you even got some black feminists out here throwing him under the bus, and they coming to the white girl's defense. Oh, by the way, did you know she committed suicide in 2012? I'm not saying I'm happy about that, you know, but that just proved more admission to her guilt. But if you think you upset about white people, you think you upset because Luke Cage is racist because of a quote-unquote lack of diversity, your reverse racism ain't going to work here. Then you're really going to hate The Birth of a Nation, and then the following year, you're really going to hate Black Panther. And then this other movie, this black horror movie coming out too by Key and Peele had made. I seen the trailer to that. See, I haven't seen y'all being this upset since Star Wars The Force Awakens, when y'all seen the brother hang on there on the cover wielding the lightsaber. Y'all was all up in arms about that. You even had Peckerwoods, redneck Peckerwood hillbilly jackasses up here committing suicide. But they fail to understand when it comes to Star Wars, that's always been about melanin. That's always been about melanin. But see, but this is what white supremacy does. And exactly what Neely Fuller always talked about. Just like how you try to get out there, they try to use it. That's why when it comes to white supremacy, they see the black male as being the immediate threat. Especially, you know, if he's has some integrity, he's masculine, you know, very intelligent. He carries himself proud, you know what I'm saying. And another thing about with Luke Cage, I'm gonna stay on topic about that. The scene between Cottonmouth and Congressman Mariah Dillard, I think that's her name. If I'm wrong about that, hit me up in the chat room and let me know. You know, cause like when Cottonmouth said, and this is a pretty good point what Cottonmouth said. You know, when he used the term nigga and all that, and Mariah said like, you know how much I don't like that word, and then Cottonmouth said like, well, neither does nobody else. But the problem is, see, they always underestimate a nigga because they never see. But the problem is they underestimate because they never see him coming. That's a pretty good point. Now, how I took that is like, yeah, because see, when you know you walk into a room and it be a bunch of old white guys or whatever, the first thing they gonna think, they see this, they see the gold teeth, they see the tats, they see the sagging pants or whatever, or they see you wearing sneakers or whatever like that, or the earring in your ear or something like that. They gonna think that, you know, you ain't got what it takes up there. That's how they tried Master P. But then Master P turned out, to come to find out, they found out too late that this man one of the smartest men in the business. And this is a law that I take from 48 Laws of Power. I highly recommend getting that book, people. Or if not, if you got Android, if you got iOS, you can always download the app. It's got all 48 laws right there. And it's come down to law number 3. Conceal your intentions. Basically, it's self-explanatory. Never let the enemy think, know what you gonna do or what your next move is gonna be, because it's just like playing chess. Because another scene I seen in there when they came looking for Luke Cage in the barbershop, and they seen Fisher up in there playing chess, saying like, one of the detectives asked him, "I heard of people playing chess with a computer, but you playing chess by yourself." But he told him, he said, "Man, look, chess is a mental game. You play with yourself, well, not in that way, but play by yourself. You can always anticipate your adversary's every move." I mean, it was so deep. It was so deep. You have to get it you'll have to listen to it to understand it. And that's another thing too. I think a lot of our people, young and old, they need to start getting into chess. They need to start getting into that. But the bottom line is, Luke Cage is worth watching. I recommend go get it. If you got Netflix, get it. Tune into it. Add it on to your list, whatever. Because it is worth watching, no doubt. And the actors, everything like that is great. The writing is great. And on top of that, like I say, I'm a big Marvel fan. I'm a big comic book fan, from the Marvel superheroes to G.I. Joe to the Transformers. But I could really relate to Luke Cage because the fact of the matter, because he dealing with the social issues and all that stuff that correlates with what's going on right now. Because look how the police look at him when they were looking for him. Shoot, their worst nightmare, a black man wearing a hoodie and he's bulletproof and he's got superhuman strength. That just says, like, wow. Now, don't get me wrong, before I even go off, before Luke Cage, you have Blade. Now, ain't no doubt those two gonna coincide and run into each other. Because Blade also invincible too. But when you want to talk about the first black superhero, particularly, I'm just go with the Marvel Universe. Ain't no doubt the first it came out was Black Panther. That was in 1966 alongside the Fantastic Four. And even the villains who happen to be the bad guys happen to be black as well. And you have some black bad guys in the DC universe too. Shoot, just like you got with the movie Justice League coming out. Jason Momoa's playing Aquaman. Only thing I hope that they bring Black Manta into that. And I've been a big fan of Black Manta for a long time. By the way, it's a reason why they call him Black Manta, and I'm going to let y'all find that out for yourself. If you watch Young Justice, you know what I'm talking about. But that's the only thing I got to say. But once again, like I said, I'm going to want to apologize to my subscribers and to the people listening in. I couldn't do the Monday O report or Tuesday night tech because, I had to give myself a break after doing almost 60 episodes. This is number 58 right now. You need a little break, recharge your batteries, refresh your thoughts, this sort of thing like that. But you know me. Anybody that knows me know I'm going to bring the heat regardless. And we're going to get into some other things, no doubt. But, I will be back. I will be aired tomorrow. I will be there. Coon Hunter Thursday, White Thug Friday, Economic Historical Saturday. Back in full swing. But anyway, before I sign off, this your main man, this Mr. O here, the Black Knight himself, the original Knight, the true Knight Rider, the real Dark Knight, the real Black Knight. Signing off. Peace out.